Welcome to the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the original food service equipment repair podcast built by technicians for technicians. Whether you're on the front lines of repair, keeping the kitchen running smoothly, or just passionate about the food service repair industry, this podcast is your go-to source for expert insight, tech tips, and real stories from the field. This episode of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles recorded live at AHR in Orlando 2025. Special guest, Viper Vixens, Ashley and Becca. This episode is brought to you by Refrigeration Technologies. Here's a quick tip from our friends at Viper. In commercial kitchens, clean coils and evaporators are essential, and Viper's NSF registered products are the best choice. Safe, effective, and formulated to keep kitchen systems running smoothly. Thanks, Viper. All right, what is up, everybody? If you don't know us, we are the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. We are a food service industry repair based podcast, but we do showcase and highlight all trades. We're just a firm believer in our trades. I've come from multiple backgrounds of the trades, ended up where I'm at now. Jason's on the hospitality side, came over to the trades, learned the trades, now he's in the management side. But we just like to showcase the trades and great companies. And we have Viper, the team from Viper from Refrigeration Technologies here. They are a proud sponsor of the show. They're amazing supporters of ours, and we figured let's have them on. Let's talk about what's going on with Viper.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. I am excited for this. AHR is always a great time. You get to see friends, colleagues, fans. That's I hate saying that, but all kinds of people come up and see me like, oh, I love your show. And I'm like freaked out. And then, of course, I've got Megan all week. She's like, you're kind of a big deal. I'm like, stop saying that. Stop saying that. You make me feel so weird. She knows she's going to keep doing it. But the reason we're here is we want to talk to Viper about what's new. You guys have a lot of new stuff going on. You guys are building onto the facility. You guys are growing. So let's talk about that. So what is new this year?
Everything.
We got a
we got a lot.
a bunch.
You want to talk building? You want to talk product?
Let's go product first, because that's the important stuff, and then we'll get to the building.
Yeah. So we'll do one official release in about probably an hour.
Yep.
Get the scoop.
Yeah, you guys are the first people to find out about it. We don't have an official name yet.
So the new product, obviously come to booth 2001, 11:30 if you want to see it. But it is an attachment, a sprayer attachment for our aerosol cans, so it can do continuous spray.
Nice.
Continuous.
In
case you missed
Continue
that.
hiss. I like that.
So
I like it.
we did leave it with no name, and we're allowing people at the booth to vote on the name. So we have 3 different options for people to choose from. So we kind of wanted to bring in the audience and, really let them know, like, we want your guys' feedback. So help us name this.
That's really cool, because Viper is really involved with, the end users of the products. You guys love showing off the users, the products. You love interacting. I've noticed that with, like, Blake and a bunch of others. You guys are always resharing everything. You guys are excited to see how people are using your products. I don't use a ton of it, but I love, like, the aerosol cans, my go-to in the kitchen. It's small, compacted. I can do several coils. I use a ton of Nylog white. I'm probably bad for not showing it off enough, as Ashley says, but expect to see a lot more content. A lot more content on that. But you guys have a ton of stuff. So what else is coming out?
Well, I was just going to go back to that statement about getting everyone involved, because that's kind of our like bread and butter, right? That's why I think we're so successful in what we do, is because we do involve everyone, and like you guys are the reason why we're here. So why not celebrate that and encourage more people to talk about the product and showcase the product, because without them, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. So we're really, our motto is by HVAC techs for HVAC techs, and that is the heart of us. So our new, the attachment, another improvement that we're making to one of the products, that all came directly from feedback from techs, from being on site with them, from talking to them in DMs on Instagram, and just like really like asking them like, what would make your life easier? So hearing from them about, like we love the aerosol can, but it would be great if it could just continuously spray so I don't have to stop. Or like, I heard from someone like, oh, my finger kind of cramps up holding that nozzle down.
They are burning through some cans as their fingers hurt.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to solve that problem.
Yep.
So
That's cool. That's cool. That's
You want to lead into the improvement that we're making?
Yeah. So the other improvement, actually, wasn't it Megan?
Yes.
Megan actually kind of facilitated this improvement on the aerosol, where she was kind of in some tight spaces and was having some difficulties kind of spraying the can because she could really only utilize the can upside down,
Straight up and down.
straight up and down,
Yeah.
right? And it didn't spray upside down. So now the can will be 360 spray.
So you can basically like reach down into that coil and hold the can upside down and still get that spray going.
Yeah.
So I remember last year sending one of you a DM in regards to possibly eventually having some sort of nozzle that will twist, kind of like a snake motion that you can get into little corners. I'm hoping that might be an evolution.
Let's hope. Well, let's hope that maybe what we're doing today could potentially help you.
Yeah. Yeah, so the sprayer attachment will still give that pin spray that everyone knows from the aerosol can, but you can hold it a little bit further back and still get right into those coils.
Yeah.
All right.
It's kind of like a trigger too. So it's like a full hand motion is going to spray the can instead of just having to utilize your finger. So it's a little more effective.
That's cool.
And
I'm
it's really
excited for
fun.
upside down because I get in some weird small coils and stuff. So, I'm in a reach in a cooler or something, and the coil's across the bottom, and you can't get the can upright. So the upside down things will be a huge benefit and help for me for sure. So way to go, Megan.
Yeah. I know, she's missing her moment.
Yep. Mechanical environment.
Giving her roses. And she's not here.
She'll hear it when this
She'll
comes
see it
out.
Wednesday. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, she was talking to us earlier in the week. She was like, I was like, because I knew a little bit, and I said something. She was, that was my idea. I was like, cool. So, but yeah, so you got to go out in the field with Matt and Megan because they're in your area, and they said, you were up on the roof and everything. I was like, wow.
Yeah, so they took me, so we're in Denver, and they took me out on a job site over the summer, and I got to go up on the roof and watch them clean these really big units, and it was the first time I'd ever been on the roof of a commercial building before.
Were you terrified? Or
I was only scared going down the ladder.
Yeah.
I had no issue going up and being like up on the roof. Like beautiful views. I mean, we're looking out at the mountains, and then it started raining on us. So going down the ladder in the pouring rain, I was just a little scared. But
going down always gets me. Going up's easy, but like when you have to like climb up on a ledge and like swing your leg around, that gets me every time.
Yeah, Matt was coaching me through it. He's like, "You're gonna be fine."
That's funny.
And that's a little taste of what we go through.
Yeah. I need to bring her out and drag her in some greasy kitchens and show her what's up.
I would love that.
I feel like I might not want to eat anywhere ever again. Though.
You get over it. You're like, I ate here before. That's funny. So, what's going on in the booth? I know we got a little event today, but you want to talk about the booth and what's going on there?
Yeah, so we're doing our spin on Super Bowl. It's called the Viper Bowl. We've got 3 teams of 4 players. They're going to play 4 games. Each one involves one of our products, and then the winners will get something fun.
Winners get it's all for fun. It's to show off the use of our product, the use of our products. Really get that community aspect.
Yeah, I've been talking so much smack this week. Everybody hates me.
I don't appreciate it.
Well, I mean, Pat is on my team, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't like this. I feel tag teamed.
So this one's going to top the thumb war you guys had last year?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
We got a lot of requests for the Nylog wrestling, Nylog thumb wrestling. It's messy, and we wanted to try to do something a little different.
Yeah.
But
You got the wipes.
I mean, we got to stay relevant, right? So we got to keep constantly changing it. And we did it twice, to be fair. So, yeah, this will be fun. There is Nylog involved.
Yes. Yeah, we're just utilizing Nylog a little bit differently this time.
So do you guys have the big Nylog wheel thing again? So everyone can stick their hand in there and like walk off. Like, how do I get this off my hand? Like, like why are you gonna walk by and stick your hand in this? It's not what you think it is. It's legit Nylog. It's not like some fake stuff they made to put up there. It's Nylog. It's on your hands, and you are not getting it off unless you get a wipe. So,
my favorite is like they like come through, right? They touch it, and then they're like, oh, and they get really upset, and then like go to wipe it on their pants, and I'm like, oh,
don't do that.
You're making it worse. Stop. We
so
have
much
wipes
worse.
over here.
Yeah.
Even just this morning when we were setting up the booth, this group was like staring at it, and I watched a girl go to like poke it, and I was like, I kind of walked over and was like, do you guys know what this is?
Don't do that.
Before you ruin your hands and your clothes for the day. That's
or especially
funny.
with like the nails too.
Yes.
'Cause even with the Viper wipes, the Viper wipes will remove nail polish.
Oh, I
so
bet, yeah.
it's like, better be careful.
Yep.
You just need a quarter machine out there, a quarter for a wipe. You guys make your booth space
Right?
back. So So that's cool. So let's talk about this expansion. I've seen some pictures and I've heard some stuff. You guys are growing out there. I mean, I didn't know if it was a whole other building or if it was next door, but let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we kind of accidentally bought 2 buildings. We bought one, and the owner had a building also right next to it. They share a wall, and he was like, "Hey, do you want this one too?" So we scooped up 2 buildings for like a collective total of about 30,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
So we're still gonna have our original building, and that's gonna still be like warehouse, and we'll leave the offices that are in there, but we're gonna kind of create much better storage space. In the other one, we actually contracted the company that does the Coke bottling plants, and they're designing our line, so it'll be super effective. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
I know. I'll let you talk about your favorite part.
Oh,
so.
okay. Yeah, so it was funny. So our president, Mike, came to us, and he said, we got these new buildings. Send us a wish list of anything
we're
you
gonna
want.
get in trouble.
And I was like, I get to ask for anything.
Say
so So part of the construction will be to build a media studio for Ashley and I. So we will be able to shoot content. We'll have green screens. We're going to be able to do podcasts. I can have all the cameras set up all the time. I'm so excited.
That sounds
We're
cool.
gonna do some cool shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm about to make my way up to California.
Yeah.
Come hang out for a few days.
Construction potentially to be done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So next year, I can't wait for a party.
Yeah.
We have this really amazing outdoor space that's on the back of one of the buildings. So I took one look around and I was like, this is the perfect spot
Party.
for a party.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll be able to do like a big. So we had a small like kind of party warehouse tour. That was last year.
Yeah,
last year. So now once this is finished, we'll be able to do a lot bigger one and kind of keep everything within the warehouse, which will be awesome. But on top of that, it's not just beneficial for us, it's beneficial for our customers. We actually have like a real loading dock now, so trucks can back up into it, which is huge if you're a warehouse worker. And everything will just be super more effective. We'll be able to house more inventory.
More store, yeah.
So, better turnaround for our partners, better turnaround for the techs. So it's exciting on all levels.
Sweet. That'd be cool to see. I know you guys are excited about that. It's across the street, right? It's pretty close. It's not catty corner.
It's in the same complex. So
Okay.
like our current space is on the street, and then there's like a building, and then the next building is ours.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
close.
Yeah,
it's walking distance.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like 500 feet.
Yeah,
it's close.
They drive the forklifts just down the little parking lot.
Yeah.
Nice. That makes it easy.
Yeah.
Sweet. So what else is going on?
We're just busy.
Yeah.
It's kind of chaos. This week has been pretty chaotic, and we're just at the beginning of it, honestly.
I mean, we've been here since Wednesday. I think you've been
Yeah.
here since Wednesday, too. I hung out with you at the symposium quite a bit. You and, I forgot his name.
Sam.
Sorry, Sam. Don't hold it against me. I hung out in the booth over there. It was pretty cool. The symposium was my first year there. I didn't know what to expect. I sat in 4 or 5 classes, learned quite a bit. I think next year I'm probably going to go ahead and sign up to present. I was like, I can do this.
You better.
You should.
So I'm going to be there. I think they said it's going to be a couple weeks earlier, so it's not going to be like back to back. So
Yeah.
it makes it a little easier for me because I don't want to fly from Indy to Orlando to Vegas and back to Indy.
I'm going to sign you up if you don't do it.
I'll do it.
I'll twist your arm.
I got a year to prepare. I think I can figure something out in a year to talk about. So
Yeah.
That's
Share
really
that
cool.
knowledge.
Yeah, I'll push you.
So you guys are sponsoring all kinds of stuff. If you don't know, they had the HVAC Tactical Awards last night. We were nominees. We got beat by my friend Brett, unfortunately. I won't hold that against Brett. He does a really good show, and he's a good friend of mine. So
Such a
I was
good
giving him a
guy.
hard time walking out. I was like, I'll just beat you up and take your awards. So that was a fun time. Red carpet interviews, specialty drinks. I mean, you guys had it all out there.
Yeah, HVAC Tactical is what Ben has done for the industry. It's kind of mind blowing. I mean, this was the 5th Tactical Awards, and to watch how it's expanded every year, it just keeps getting bigger. It keeps getting better. More people every year. It's really cool to see how all the techs just support one another, and that camaraderie that you just don't really get anywhere else. So for us to support that organization, it's no question, it's just easy.
Yeah, it's a blast. Everyone's up there dressed up, looking amazing. I sweated to death with a cowboy hat on. Probably not the best thing, but that's just my thing. When I dress up, I wear a cowboy hat. So
I think Ben is pretty selfless for that heavy lift. It's 5 years now. It's grown, and I mean, he had to do a lot of that on his own and a lot of grassroots to get that going, and a lot of his own money. And I think majority of people appreciate it and love the show. There are some critics, they just haven't been here, and they don't know what it takes in the background with the type of friends and coworkers and family to get that thing off the ground, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel kind of honored, actually, because I've been to all of them, every single one that's in person, and watching the growth. So the first time that it was like actually in person was in a private dining room at Maggiano's in Vegas.
We were packed in there like sardines.
And there was like 60 of us.
It was bad. It was jammed
Yeah,
in there.
I mean, it was good for what it was.
Oh yeah, it was fun, but it was tight.
It like in comparison to what it is now, it's so cool to see how much it's grown and like how much the production has changed. And, I've been, again, honored to do the red carpet, and that's been so fun. And now I got to share it this year with Becca, which was great. Had both the Viper girls out there on the red carpet. So it's such a, I'm going to say like a humbling experience. And I don't think I realized how much I enjoyed it until last night when we didn't get to do quite as many interviews as I wanted to. But, yeah, it's such a cool experience just seeing everybody, dressed to the nines. Everyone's so excited. And you get to meet these people who, have hundreds of thousands of followers, but they're just normal people.
Yeah.
And everyone's so nice and so humble. And I never thought that I would be working a red carpet in the HVAC industry, but here we are.
Yeah, the red carpet thing is cool. I made sure we got a chance in there because, yeah, it's different this year, kicking it back and forth to the commentator and stuff, and it was really cool. But it was different. I liked it. But yeah, it kind of limited the time you had. So
I want to give Ashley credit because last year she asked us about our drinks and drink of choice. I was like, Woodford. It was there this year, so no one can tell me different. Woodford was there this year because of Ashley.
That's funny.
You're welcome.
That's great. So, we went to Vegas, and that one was in that little room. It was cool. That was my first AHR. It was my first Tactical Awards. And I sat down, and, I looked at the table, and it was, Eric Ani and Andy Mickelson, and I was, huge fans. I was, a little kid, oh, my God, I get to meet my heroes. So it's just cool. Everybody's super down to earth. Even, these mega accounts that have tons of followers, they will come up and talk to you. They will come and introduce themselves to you. This community it's really special what's been built.
Yeah. I've never experienced a community like HVAC. I've been in the industry this is my 8th year, and I was on plumbing previously, and plumbing's great. They're supportive in their own way. But the way that HVAC really comes together is it's unlike anything else.
Nice. So let's transition back into Viper and some of your products. Let's give the rundown on the do's and don'ts. I will say this. I have guys that use the red aerosol can on condenser coils that think they don't have to rinse it. I'm like, no, you have to rinse it on condenser coils.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Evaporators, you're good, but on condensers, please rinse it.
Yeah, and I mean, really the thought behind that is if you were to leave any kind of residue on an outdoor coil, it's sticky.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you're just going to collect more dirt. So will it hurt it? No. But your maintenance time is going to be much shorter.
I just explained to them, the evaporator is pulling moisture out of the air, so it self-rinses.
Yeah.
And then once they understand, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, that's probably why I had to follow you up and clean more junk out. So I don't hold it against them. I try to educate everybody and explain to them. So let's run through the products.
Yeah. Anyone in particular that you're thinking about?
No. I use the Nylog White. That's been my go-to. It doesn't turn to concrete. There's a lot of other pipe dopes out there that just turn to absolute concrete, and you can't get them off. You can ask my wife. I've literally broken 2 teeth trying to get fittings apart because I will keep the smallest wrench I have because I don't want to go to the truck, and I will just grit down, and I broke 2 teeth. So my dentist appreciates it.
Your teeth are not tools.
Yeah. No. Pat. Well, I'm just gritting down and just. That is the weirdest pop sound in the world. So I appreciate that it stays malleable. It doesn't turn to concrete. I get it everywhere, but that's just because I use way too much.
Yeah.
I think that Nylog White is really a sleeper product.
Yeah.
And so it is, it's on my radar to do a little bit more marketing around it, really get people talking about it, and realize there's tons of pipe dopes that you can choose from, but It's the best.
Which is why we need you to create more content.
Yes.
Pat.
I'm on the say list. So what was like the OG product? What was the first product that they released?
Big Blue.
And that is a staple. I use that for finding leaks on gas lines, refrigeration lines, anything that has a potential leak. I will spray that on there. It works great. So I have a lot of like little bitty teeny leaks, micro leaks, and I can use electronic leak detector and kind of pick up the area. And then I got that bottle of Big Blue and I just hose it down, and it shows it. It's amazing. You don't want to go in there spraying it full force because then it just kind of you get a lot of bubbles and you don't know where it's at. Just kind of real easy, real steady stream. And that will show the tiniest leaks that you can't even hardly pick up a leak detector. It's changed how I've done leaks. When I first started, I was terrible at doing leak searches. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm self-taught refrigeration, so I was like, oh look, dye, and I was like throwing dye and everything. And it's like I was just making messes. I had dye all over my hands, all over my tools.
Like
and
you
stuff.
robbed the bank.
Just having a rave.
Yeah. So now, like my go-to is Big Blue. I live in Indiana, so if you live in a cold climate, make sure you carry at least one jug of the Sub-Zero.
Yes.
Because no worse feeling than going to do a leak check and you grab it and it's just a solid block of ice in the back of the van. So the Sub-Zero comes in clutch.
Yeah. I think we really are we're the first true micro leak detector, and we can detect 0.65 of an ounce per year.
Ooh.
So, I mean, we're talking tiny holes. And, I will note that if you look at the other people's micro leak detector, there's no stat. It doesn't tell you how small or how big of a leak it can detect down to. Because they haven't tested it.
Yeah.
So, we really stand behind that. Like, this is an amazing micro leak detector. But yes, there is a technique to spraying, right?
Yeah, and you guys have the dollar bottle too. Like
We do.
Yeah.
let me get that out.
And it's all environmentally safe. So
Yep.
That's
Food
always
safe,
good.
non-corrosive, non-toxic,
Very
eco-friendly.
Yep.
That's why I use their products in the kitchens. I mean, I don't want to spray anything. In the past, I've used these chemicals. They say they're food safe. They got this. It says citrus smell, and it's like citrus gag. You spray it, you're like, ugh, and it's like coughing and taking you out. Their stuff's pleasant. It's not overbearing. You can safe to use around food. Nobody's going to complain. And like they said, it's NSF rated, so I can use it in the kitchen. I can use it in food process facilities, and I can feel safe that I'm not contaminating food or going to make anybody sick.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can drink it, because my dog did that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it won't kill the dog, but it won't. It's not great.
He's going to have a rough day.
Yeah, have a rumbly tummy.
Yeah,
but,
he had an upset stomach, but he's fine. But yeah, don't drink it. So.
Yes,
But
please
no,
don't
it
drink.
is safe to use in kitchens, food process facilities, and everything else. So that's my biggest selling point for it. I'm in restaurants every day. I don't have to worry about my customers complaining or getting anybody sick. So
And it's kosher too.
Yeah, I was going to say, we take it
Wow.
that one step further and we get the kosher certification as well so that, it can be used in all food facilities.
So one product I do want to brag on is the Viper wipes.
Yes.
I work in kitchens. It's greasy, nasty mess, and I come out and like grease clumps is in my hair, and I can take those wipes and just. It may take me one or two, but I can get my hands, my tools clean. I use it on the armrest of my van when it starts getting pretty greasy. I get out there and clean it off with that. So those will clean anything under the sun out there.
And I think it's important to note too with the wipes, it's the solution, not the actual wipe. So like if you have something that's super stubborn, like let it marinate almost, because
Like wring it out on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually like the chemical that's in the wipe, not necessarily the wipe itself.
Yeah. And like I like the thing about the wipes, the actual wipe itself. I mean, we make a textured side and then a smooth side. But they leave your hands so soft, and I've had the techs tell me that, like they use them and they don't feel like they have to go run and rinse them off like some of the other wipes
Yep.
that leave that chemical-y smell.
Do you guys have a demo over there? You can clean anything, some wipes?
Oh, most definitely.
We do.
We got the wipe races
Wipe
going
races
on
back?
again, so...
I'm about to challenge Jason here a little bit.
Yeah. So, we take those boards and we put a streak of spray paint, nail polish, mastic, Sharpie, and we just show, like, these will take anything off. And like Ashley mentioned before, like, when we use them, we have to be careful, or
Yeah,
I'm taking that nail polish off.
Yeah, you can do some damage to those things. I wouldn't want to clean those, so... Sweet. So we talked about Viper wipes, Big Blue, Nylog White, OG Nylog, that stuff. put that stuff on everything. I'm gonna be keep it family friendly here. I don't want to get in trouble and kicked off on the first day. But if you're not using Nylog on your fittings, your refrigeration fittings, you're doing yourself an injustice. I use it on flares. I use it on caps. I use it on everything. Just as a little bit of that added protection. When I first started learning refrigeration, I worked with a guy a little bit occasionally, and we did a lot of semi-hermetic compressors. We were changing stuff with gaskets, and I was like, how do you keep these gaskets on there? He's like, I just put a little bit of this on here and it just sticks and holds it perfectly. He's like, it's oil, you don't have to worry about it, it's part of the system, and you can just feel safe that you're not going to contaminate it with Nylog.
Yeah.
It causes so much controversy.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
It's very polarizing.
There's I won't say his name or who he works for, but there's one guy that's just absolutely against it. I'm like, why? And you guys put out the video where you poured it in a beaker last week or week before. I was like, that's cool. It just like breaks down with the oil. It's just part of it. It's like, if it turns back into oil, what are you going to hurt?
Yeah.
And like the craziest part of that video, we put like almost an entire bottle of Nylog into that beaker. So, like pure refrigeration oil, we're pouring the Nylog in, and you can watch it in real time just dissipate.
Meshing.
Yeah.
It goes back to oil. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I've had...
Holy smokes,
I was
where'd
like-
that come from? The sun's coming out and it shines in his window and blinding me. I picked the wrong spot.
Yeah, I mean, I've had many battles
Yeah.
about Nylog on LinkedIn.
I get to ignore it, but
And-
you guys can't because it's like you gotta put the word out there, the good word on what it
Constantly
really is.
defending
Yeah, well, it's like you pick your battles sometimes, but sometimes the things that people say are just like outright blatantly wrong. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, sometimes I enjoy a little back and forth, get to be a little sassy.
I love being petty.
If it's in the comments, I'm sure like-minded people are going to jump in. And
Yeah.
we'll take care of your light work.
Absolutely. You always have your two sides, right? You have we love Nylog and we put that on everything, and then we have oh no, this is bad.
But you're not pouring it in the system. It's made for gaskets. It's made for flares. It's made to seal connections. It's not made to pour in the system. But if it gets sucked into the system, it's not going to hurt it. That's the thing. It's like if I had a gallon jug of it and I'm pouring it instead of oil, it'd be a different story. But we're not doing that. You're just sealing up fittings and stuff. So
Right.
I don't get people, man. They complain about
Maybe
everything.
if you have somebody who has no idea what they're doing, and again, even if you dump the whole bottle in there, it's not going to change anything because it's literally refrigerant oil. It's already running through the system.
Yep.
So I don't know why that conversation is so difficult, especially for people who are supposed to be, qualified in what they're doing.
I think I know who we're talking about.
But
I won't give them any free rent, so.
we will not mention you.
So coil cleaners, you guys have a wide variety. You have a specific set. You have a specific cleaner for evaporators, and it does a great job. You can get that in the Venom pack. You can get that in the gallon jugs. You can get it in everything. So that's my go-to for evaporators and coolers and stuff. You do have a pan and drain treatment to help keep from building up that slime and debris. The good thing I like about yours is you can spray it and cover it. I don't know how many times I've gone to a walk-in cooler and I pulled the covers off. And I'm doing a PM and I look and there's like 4 tabs that someone threw in the corner that don't even get wet and they're still undissolved. There's just a pile of them. Like, what are you doing? You're not doing your customer any justice. You're doing them a disservice. So pan and drain treatment's awesome. When it comes to cleaning coils, you guys have a couple different options. I prefer the yellow because it's safe. I've got a horror story with some blue stuff. It wasn't yours, but that's the reason I have to wear glasses. I was cleaning coil with some blue stuff, and then the wind shifted and blew in my eyes. I was on the roof for like a half hour with a hose in my eyes crying. I was like, I'm going blind. I can't get off this roof. I'm dead. Everything. I freaked out, but a little bit. But
As you should.
scary.
That's happened to me
really
a few
scary
times.
moment.
so that's why I tell everybody, wear face protection.
So it's like this sounds bad, but I want to use your pain as like a teaching moment because I think people don't really understand how dangerous some of the chemicals that they're using are. And I know that that's like a big component of the trainings that I do is like, let's talk about chemical safety. Even if you don't want to use ours, make sure you know what you are using because it can blind you. It can literally melt your skin off.
Oh yeah, that stuff's gnarly.
And that's just the human aspect. If you want to talk about the equipment, you're using something that's super corrosive. You're literally removing layers of metal off the coil every time you use it. So you're shortening the lifespan of that coil, right? And I think that people just don't understand.
Choose the right product for the application.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
There's very few circumstances in which we ever recommend using a corrosive. One is in really extreme kitchen situations because sometimes, things are nasty and oil specifically can get really sticky and build up. The other is if you're going to do a coil coating. So for our coastal regions, a lot of times people will choose to do a coil coating to keep the coil safe. But in order to apply that, you have to etch the coil. So you would use a brightener. And then maybe a super, super neglected coil in general, where maybe it's been years since it's been serviced and it's just really nasty. And then the last one would be like if you're working in maybe a chiller where you have a large buildup of calcium, sometimes a brightener would be necessary. But outside of that, don't use that for your maintenances. Don't do that. You don't need it. And if you are choosing to use it, make sure you're wearing PPE, wear your glasses, wear your gloves. Hopefully you have good boots on that aren't gonna be damaged.
I've heard stories, horror stories, people their boots get wet and or they have a hole in their boot and it gets on their foot and then they just work all day because they don't think about it and they get home and they're I'm missing chunks of skin and they need to get this looked at. So that's definitely a good point about the boots. If you got holy boots, make sure you're not getting stuff done.
And I think any chemical used, despite you got to use some common sense. I mean,
that?
Right? Despite how much grease migration's on a condenser coil on a reach-in on a line, you put that stuff on there. Use common sense. Keep an eye on it. Don't walk away. Rinse it off. But people need to read the label and have an understanding of what the application is. So
RTFM.
I was just going to say that, yes. But I wanted to say the full thing, but I'll keep it.
Don't get me thrown off on day one.
Read those labels, guys, and know what they mean, because it is important, you know?
I remember the first time I used the yellow Venom pack, so I probably way too much, way too concentrated. And
it's like slime.
Well, I didn't get it rinsed all the way out. I turned it on, and it sucked all the soap and stuff through the coils, and it was blowing bubbles. I was like,
wait, that sounds fun.
Oh, it was cool.
It's a party.
Yeah, so make sure you rinse it good. If not, you're gonna have a foam party on the roof, and someone may ask some questions. What's going on up there? It's not a dance party.
And I mean, we have our foam sprayer as well, and that's designed for the different levels, the different.
Dilution.
Ratios. Thank you. I could not think of that word.
It was a long night last night. You're forgiven.
And so even when I'm making content, and the first time I ever did, I'm messing with the condenser cleaner, and I put it into the sprayer, and I pour the whole bag in there, and I'm just learning. I work in marketing. I'm not a tech, and I connected to the hose, and I'm starting to spray, and I was like, oh gosh, how am I going to get rid of what am I going to do with all of this? And I'm at my parents' house, spraying it. My dad comes out and he's like, what are you spraying on my grass? Is this going to kill my grass? And I was like, nope, you don't have to worry about that. This is safe, non-toxic. It's not going to hurt the plants. You're all good. But
I love that Dad was like, what about my grass?
Yes. No.
Such a dad move.
It is. But it was so funny. I mean, the grass just covered with bubbles.
That's funny. So, go back to read RTFM. I almost said it.
I'm influencing you.
Yeah, I bought the Venom pack. As soon as they came out in my market, I wanted to try them out. And I was cleaning these coils, and I didn't have your guys's. I didn't realize it was the dilution thing. And, if you're going to use the Venom packs and you're not going to pre-mix it, make sure you pay attention to dilution. And theirs is preset, for the Venom packs, so make sure you check that out. But I had another brand, and I just used to, I crank it on max. And I was like, I burned through some soap real fast and made a mess. But that was a fun day because they just came out. I was like, let me chuck these off the roof of a KFC and see if they bust. And they did not bust. That's always a fun experiment. So, so I've seen some other videos floating around lately. Someone chucking them out of a helicopter. That was kind of cool, too. I was like, man, these guys are killing it.
Yeah,
that was a cool video.
Yeah, we worked with Tool Pros and Tool Wife on that one, and they came to me and was like, we have a crazy idea that we want to put your Venom packs to the test. And I was like, tell me about it. They're like, we want to drop them out of a helicopter.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's do it. So, they dropped about 10 packs, from the helicopter.
130 feet up.
Yeah.
Which hopefully you're not dropping our Venom packs from that far up.
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd be doing.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why you'd be
what kind of
that
party you're
high
having.
It did all right as long as I noticed they do great as long as if they land flat. That's when you got a problem. If land on the top and the bottom are right, but they land perfectly flat. That's when I had a problem. So.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I want to see what this does. Let's chuck it 20 feet in the air off a 20-foot roof.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're pretty tough tested. They're going to be okay in the back
They work
of your
great in the van. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep mine in a milk crate and like I got them all in there, and they just bounce around. I don't have a problem. I don't worry about those. Other chemicals no worse feeling driving down the road. You're like, what's that smell? And it's like some chemicals eating your floor mat of your van. And I don't have to worry about that with your guys' stuff. So.
Yep.
Oh no.
It's not going to eat away at your van.
All right. So
and no weird smells either.
Ooh,
Yes.
Do it. That creeps me out. We got a fan walking by. What's going on? It's Jen Manzo and Danny and Val. But I appreciate you guys coming on. What are you guys excited about for this convention? AHR is it's the biggest one for what we kind of do. And I feel kind of weird because I'm not an HVAC guy. I'm a kitchen guy, but we kind of like been accepted into this, and they've opened up their arms to us as a community. They've invited us in. I've won awards here. It's a really cool experience. So what are you guys looking forward to this week?
Well, definitely Viper Bowl.
Yes.
I'm excited for that. I always get excited for our own events.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
and we had a lot of fun prepping for that because
Yeah.
we had to test out the games.
I'm an excellent shooter. I would just like to say that.
Is she my competition?
No, we're just
No.
coaching.
Okay. I was a little worried. I was like, she's over here practicing.
That's right. So obviously excited for Viper Bowl, but then I think the most, it's just like the community, right? Getting able to see people in person that you primarily only talk to on social or through email. So having that like real in-person connection for me is really important. And then kind of popping around and seeing what everyone else is doing, seeing kind of what else is going on in the industry. And then just kind of hanging with our team, like because we get all of our reps together as well, which is nice. Since we don't really see them obviously in person either. So
Yeah, because you're spread out across the country. Not everybody's based out of California. You have a sales team across the country, regional people. It's always cool to get to hang out and catch up and see what's going on.
yeah, I'm like, ooh, you're cool. I like you.
Yeah. And it's pretty much the same for me. Like, I look at these big events as relationship building. How can I further my relationships with partners that we already have, like yourself, other sponsorships that we do, and it gives me a chance to meet new people that I could potentially like work with for partnerships. And I think that making connections with one another is like what really helps us thrive.
Yep.
So and it gives I really love like being in the booth and asking people questions, and I'm excited to do some in-booth interviews, ask people some questions, get them to show me like their NILOG
Don't be
technique.
Nice. That's cool. I really appreciate what you guys are doing for the industry, and I'm sure Mike and the team back at headquarters really loves what you guys are doing. You guys, I tell everybody, like, they are the best social team out there right now. Like, their content's great. Their engagement with their followers is great. It's like they reshare. If someone shares something, they reshare it and tag them. I was like, you are doing what companies should do. Like, I deal with some big companies, like they pay an outside marketing firm and they don't like or interact with anything. Like, someone will tag them, they don't even like it, they don't even look at it. I'm like, you're spending thousands of dollars a month, and like these people don't even interact. They just make a post for you and that's it. I'm like, if you want the engagement, that's where you're going to get the return on it. I was like, so you need to have a partner or someone working for you that's willing to engage and interact, and you're just going to get left behind. But you guys, content, engagement, you guys are blowing it out of the water. So I really appreciate you two.
We
very
appreciate
authentic.
you.
Thank you. We
Very
appreciate
authentic.
that.
I was going to say, I think part of that has to do with the size of our company. I think we're not a big company. I think most people are really surprised to find out that it's like, a staff of five internally, right? And then we have 8 people in our warehouse, which obviously is growing. But like, because we're so small, like every little thing really does matter. And so we're really invested in continuing to grow that community and like treat everyone the way that we would kind of want to be treated as well. And I think, because we are so small and it's not a big corporation, we have a lot more freedom. So we can have a little bit more fun. We can do things kind of the way that we want to.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm going to speak for both of us here, and you can say yes or no, but I think that part of the reason why we joined Viper is because we have the ability to create whatever we want for the future. And Mike is very open about, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Let's do it. Let's try it out. If it doesn't work, cool. If it does, awesome. How can we, like, blow this up and make Viper world domination?
Yeah.
It's a family-owned company, and they believe in you guys. So that's awesome. It's really awesome.
No, how much faith they have in us. I mean, sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but they're so supportive, and we get to have fun. We get to push the boundaries, which is my favorite part. We get to cause disruption, which I think is so important in the social world, in the content world. So like getting to do a campaign last year that was a virtual swear jar. I mean,
that was great.
what company is going to let us do that? We did an entire campaign video of us just dropping F-bombs.
And everyone loved it.
And we raised over $10,000 for women in HVAC.
That's awesome. So you guys do give back to more than just contractors. You guys invest in women in HVAC and other things. So.
And I will just say, if anyone is interested, so I'm on the committee for sponsorship for women in HVAC. I'm going to plug this. If anyone is interested in sponsoring women in HVAC, we are looking for additional sponsors, and there's a lot of things included. So
I can get you somebody after the show's over. I can talk to you
reach out to me.
Yeah.
We would love to have you guys. And obviously, it's for a good cause because we want more women in the industry.
Yep. One of our good friends, Megan, she's killing it out there, and I'm really proud, the work she's doing. And she came from the vendor side, and now she's a technician and business owner, and she's killing it. And I love seeing stories of women out there just dominating. We've had some on our show. I've got a coworker. She started off in the office and actually transferred to a tech. Like, she's seen the techs coming in, and like she was like pulling parts and stuff. And she's like, "What's this?" Started asking questions. Next thing you know, she's in a truck, and now she's out there killing it.
That's awesome.
We had a guest a couple weeks ago, and I seen her online in a group for what we do, and I'm like, and she was working on a Garland grill. It's like one of the hardest things to work on. And like, she was tearing this thing apart, and she was giving people tips and tricks. I'm like, I sent her a message. I was like, I want to send you a friend request, but I don't want to be that creepy guy on Facebook that's friending some good-looking chick on here. And but I was like, she goes, no. So she actually sent me a friend request after she read it. She's like, no, I follow you. I was like, oh, I feel so much better now. But she's out there killing it. She came on the show, and I literally had to cut her off after an hour and a half. Like, she was just going. I was like, we got to stop. I was like, I will have you back in a few weeks, I promise.
Part 2.
Yes. So, but we're going to cut it a little short because I know you guys can get down there set up, and you guys are like, we're at 9,000 Hall, and they're at 2,000 Hall, which I think is like 3/4 of a mile that way.
It's a little bit of a trek.
Getting them steps in.
Go ahead and plug everything you guys do so people can follow you on social media and interact with you.
Yeah. So make sure you follow Refrigeration Technologies on Instagram. We're Viper HVACR on TikTok. Just look for Refrigeration Technologies. Look for the Viper. And then
Big snakes.
Yep. You can follow my account, Becca's Hot for HVAC on Instagram and TikTok.
And then I'm HVAC_Ash on Instagram and TikTok and Threads.
I'm so glad it automatically posts over there because I'm terrible. I get notifications. I'm like,
you're like, what is this?
All right, well, let's go ahead and cut it for the day, but I appreciate you both coming on. I appreciate everything you do for us and the industry. You guys are amazing. Viper Refrigeration Technologies is an amazing company, so I look forward to seeing you guys grow, and hopefully you come out to California next year.
Yeah. Thank
We'll
you
be waiting.
so much for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks
Always
for
a
coming on.
pleasure.
Yeah.
See ya. If you guys would, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the podcast. It really helps us grow and helps us know which direction to move in. Also, if you have any suggestions for guests, please email me at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a guest, email me. Love to have you guys on. Thanks a lot. See you next week.